Coming up on NBC 26 today, cleanup begins this morning in a Calumet County neighborhood after a home explodes. We have the latest information from Harrison. Plus, Vice President Mike Pence stopped in Green Bay to support Governor Scott Walker. How Republicans and Democrats responded to the visit. We have both sides.
And we're live at the Resch Center. We're checking out Cirque du Soleil Crystal, their new show. Brooke, Fish, we've got a sneak peek. Ooh, that sounds fun and exciting.
Good time to do a couple things indoors because
it's cold this morning.
It is. Welcome to fall, everyone. It's completely different than the last couple of days, but at least it's not raining. Right, so.
Thank gosh.
Made that dramatic enough. Low pressure pulling away from us, but still on the back side of it, we have the wind outside. So you're going to notice that now it's 45 degrees. You're like, oh, well, that's not too bad. Yeah, well, the wind right now is sustained at 20 with higher gusts. We're going to keep that wind around today. So we are quiet. Again, the rain is gone, and Skycast shows that going through the day. Now, it's getting a little aggressive, showing a lot of sunshine out there, but I think the clouds are going to kind of win the battle. And as we go into tonight, still keeping it dry. It's amazing. I feel like I haven't said that in a while. Now, current temps, we got 45 in Manitowoc, 41 in Appleton. There's a 38 in Anago. I'm going to do it. Are you ready? Here are the wind chills. That's what it feels like outside. The freezing mark. That's what it feels like in Appleton and Watoma. So a heavier jacket for you today, and if it can break the wind, that would be good too. Look at this too. We got freeze warnings that will go into effect late tonight, and they're not in effect for our northwest counties because you've seen a hard freeze already. So get ready. It's going to be much colder today, only 46 and windy. Brooke, I'm going to let you know how long the cool air sticks around and how that weekend's looking coming up.
All right, thanks, Fish. A house explosion causing major damage in Harrison. Some injuries, but fortunately no fatalities. Ryan Curry has more on what we know so far.
Cleanup begins for a Harrison neighborhood after a home exploded Wednesday morning.
Debris flying, everything flying, paper. Just too scary, too close. Our windows, everything rattled, all my stuff fell off my walls.
At around 8 in the morning, fire crews responded to several calls of a loud bang. When they arrived, they found an empty space where a home once stood and debris everywhere. So bad, the road was not safe to drive on.
It looks like a bomb went off. There is debris, several houses in each direction, across the road and down to the waterfront.
You could see here the remnants of the home. The home is completely gone. The explosion was so powerful. The debris landed, it impacted and rendered the homes next to it uninhabitable.
The house is literally destroyed. The house, this was so violent that it destroyed the house next door.
The Calumet County Sheriff's Office still does not know what caused the house to explode. No one was home during the time of the explosion. 2 people who live next door went to the hospital with minor injuries, and neighbors say nobody losing their lives in an explosion this big is a miracle.
We have to be careful. They won't let us stay. They want us. We're blessed that no one was, seriously hurt.
Keeping you connected, Ryan Curry, NBC 26.
And people from at least a dozen other communities are saying they heard or felt the explosion. The furthest we found it was felt 20 miles away in Freedom, where Lisa Smits lives.
And I heard a loud boom. I thought it was the neighbor behind us because they were cleaning out sheds, but it still seemed a little loud for that.
I had heard a really loud bang, and my first assumption was that it was a garbage truck. And then I kind of pieced together that it wasn't even garbage day.
Residents say this morning their thoughts are with those affected, hoping everyone will be okay. In overnight news, Green Bay Metro Fire responded to a home on the 600 block of Walnut Street around 11 o'clock last night after a tree fell and took down a power line. The power line was energized and caused the building to catch fire. Before putting out the fire department had to wait for public service crews to arrive and turn off the power for the safety of the crew.
Kind of a cat and mouse game. I guess we're trying to keep it at bay until we get the power off so the guys can go to work safely.
Fire crews say the home is owned by someone who lives out of the country. A caretaker was in the home at the time, but was able to get out safely. No injuries have been reported. Crews say if there are tree limbs hanging near power lines at your home, you should consider trimming them before the winter. Green Bay police have identified the victim of a fatal car crash from last week. 36-year-old Cassandra Fozzie of Green Bay was struck and killed near the intersection of Manitowoc Road and Brozig Street around 7:30 p.m. last Thursday. Witnesses report that they indicate she was walking in the roadway when she was hit. The crash is still under investigation. Vice President Mike Pence visited Green Bay to show his support for Governor Walker and help raise money for his re-election campaign. Pence also gave the two-term governor a lot of compliments over what he described as accomplishments over the past 8 years, something the VP highlighted as a driving force that Walker was behind since taking office.
It's really a choice between results and resistance. It's a choice between a stronger Wisconsin and America and those that seem to want to just be in charge to manage state and national decline. It's a choice between prosperity, progress, and literally going back to the failed policies of the past.
After his stop in Green Bay, Vice President Pence moved on to Eau Claire. Now, Democrats are responding to Pence's visit at an event supporting their candidate for governor, Tony Evers. Here's State Senator Dave Hansen on Mike Pence.
He's not a model for what progressive Wisconsin's all about, in my opinion. So he can bring people in, but we're going to fight on the issues, healthcare, taking care of our infrastructure, our transportation, and education.
Hansen believes the state needs a better balance in government with some type of Democrat control. All eyes are on the markets today after stocks took their worst loss in 8 months. President Trump continued his attacks against the Federal Reserve, suggesting it was to blame for yesterday's losses. He shrugged off suggestions his trade war with China might be to blame. The president said the tumble was a correction we've been waiting for, but says it's ridiculous that the feds keep raising interest rates. Michael has lost a bit of its punch this morning, now a tropical storm, but still causing problems across the southeast. The most severe damage came as the hurricane made landfall along the Florida Gulf Coast, where Jay Gray has a closer look at the damage.
Hey there, this morning a first-hand look at some of the damage the winds left behind here. You can see this beachside business has been ripped apart, evidence of the intensity of this history-making storm.
With powerful winds gusting over 150 miles an hour.
I've never been in one like this. I was here doing Dennis, and that was scary enough, but this was pretty awesome.
Torrential rains and a monster storm surge. Hurricane Michael slams into the Florida Panhandle.
Utter destruction. Utter destruction. As I said, there's going to be a lot of good people hurting.
The massive storm leaving behind flooded roads and damaged buildings. Power knocked out to tens of thousands of homes.
We're turning 100% of our focus on search and rescue and recovery.
Members of the National Guard and first responders have already been deployed. Some residents who rode out the storm are starting to clean up as well. One woman with her bare hands.
And I'm trying to clear the roadway for the emergency vehicles to get through.
The storm moving on, but the recovery here is just beginning.
We talk about this being a history-making storm. It's the strongest October hurricane ever to hit the U.S. and the first Category 4 storm to strike the Florida Panhandle with the strongest winds, 155 miles an hour at landfall since Andrew in 1992. Jay Gray, NBC News, Panama City Beach, Florida.
Thank you, Jay. Now, 3 Wisconsin college students are heading to Florida to help victims of the hurricane. The students from Wisconsin Lutheran College have been collecting money and supplies for the last month. They originally hoped to help in North Carolina, but decided to drive to Florida after seeing the devastation there.
You know, a lot of people look down on our generation of like, you're young, like what, you can't make a difference. So we really want this trip to help inspire others, not only our community, but throughout the United States, that young people can make a difference and they can have an impact in their community.
They are still collecting donations and supplies. Items can be dropped off at the college.
And Michael, now a tropical storm at 50-mile-per-hour winds, 65-mile-per-hour gusts. That's still pretty strong. Don't get me wrong, but what's nice about Michael right now is it's cruising, and it's going to make its way up the eastern seaboard out to sea, which is fine. That keeps that flooding threat down a little bit. And our rain is finally done. 41 degrees in the Fox Valley. It is much colder out there, and it's windy as well. So as you step out the door, be aware of that. But at least we're dry, and we are going to keep it that way today. Current temperatures, we got 42 in Oshkosh, 45 Shawano, and 38 in Antigo. And then I got to factor in the wind. It's the first time I've used this graphic this year. I have to. Feels like 35 in Oshkosh and at the freezing mark at Watoma. So today, much colder than it has been, 46 degrees. A lot of us going below freezing tonight. I'm going to let you know what that means for the weekend and if we can keep things dry around here coming up. Stay with us.
You're connected to NBC 26 Today with Brooke Hayes. Meteorologist Michael Fish. NBC 26 Today. Keeping you connected.
Thanks for being with us this morning. Cirque du Soleil is coming to town this weekend.
And for the first time in the company's 34-year history, they're bringing their first ever on-ice production. Oh, let's throw it to Emily Byer, though. Sorry, that was supposed to be me.
Good morning, guys. Hello, everyone. So we are here at the Rush Center, you guys. This set is incredible to see. I'm joined by Julie Demare. She's the publicist with the show. Tell us a little bit about this set. Again, this show is so unique. It's the first time you guys have done it. Talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, we follow Crystal in this world of our own imagination into a world made of ice. It's the first time that Cirque du Soleil tackles the ice as a surface to produce a unique show.
Yeah, and looking at this set here, if we take a look, it is absolutely mesmerizing to see the work you guys have done. And this travels with you guys, so this is a key part of the show.
It is. So we travel with 90 people, including 43 artists. It takes our crew about 16 hours to set up the set. And when we created this production, we wanted to use the ice and the white of the ice as a reflection. So we use it for projection along with the wall, which represents the home of Crystal.
Yeah, and it's such a dreamy effect, too. So tell us a little bit about, okay, this is the first time you guys are doing this. You and I were just talking about, there's a lot of new techniques that you and the team had to learn. Tell me a little bit about that.
When we created Crystal, we wanted to push boundaries of entertainment by bringing our twist and our touch to ice by blending the two disciplines of skating and acrobatics together into one show. So a lot of the acrobats had to learn how to skate and a lot of the skaters had to learn how to do acrobatics.
At this far in the game, you guys, so these people are learning new skills that a lot of these other people have been learning for years. What part about those skills makes this show just so unique that you guys had to do it?
Oh, it's so unique. We really wanted to combine all the ingredients, but what skate brings speed, elegance, it's the motion, combined with acrobatics, it just brings something very unique, and we've created some acrobatics that have never been done before. So it's a really blast.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Julie. And you guys, we're going to have more for you throughout the show. We're actually going to get to see one of those entertainers here towards the end of our 6 o'clock hour, so definitely stick around. We have more information on tickets for you on NBC26.com. You guys, we'll send it back to you.
All right. Thanks, Emily. Now, so much to see at a show like that. You look at the ground, you look up in the air.
Were they on roller skates and on the ice?
They had to with those ramps. Can't really do that with blades, can you? I don't know.
That should be interesting
Looked
to
really
watch.
neat. Lots of cool stuff going on there.
All right, speaking of ice. Wait, guess what's coming tonight? Look at this. We got a freeze warning that goes into effect late tonight for a lot of us, except for Dorr. You're like, well, what about Shawano and Langlade? You're not in it because you've already seen a hard freeze. So if you got those sensitive plants outside, talk to them and tell them that you're going to cover them up because it's going to get cold tonight. And it's a lot colder out there right now. Cold air filtering on the backside of this low pressure. You are going to notice a big difference. Not only that, it's windy out as well. 45 degrees, current temperature in Green Bay, but look at the winds, sustained at 20 with even stronger gusts. So when you step outside again, it's going to be a blast to fall out there, but at least the rain has stopped. Finally. Here's a look at precipitation around the state. A couple flurries way up in northwest Wisconsin, but here, again, we're going to keep it dry all day long, trying to show a little bit of sunshine. I have some breaks of sun, maybe not going to be completely sunny this afternoon. I think the cloud's going to win the battle. Now, the average high is supposed to be 59 degrees. The record still goes into the 80s, but look at the averages. See, average low back into the 30s, so it should get kind of cold at this time of year at night, but yesterday it was warm, and now here comes this air for today. There's Sioux Falls in the mid-40s. That pretty much for us today. With current temperatures, we're not going to move much from here now. Probably going to drop a little bit this morning and try to sneak back up, but otherwise, again, we got 45 Oconto, 41 in Appleton, 42 in Oshkosh, and I have to show it for the first time this year, the wind chills. This is what it feels like outside. 32 in Appleton, 38 in Sturgeon Bay, 28 in Antigo. So more mid-fallish type clothes for you today and a sweater. Dew points now, they have dropped. The cold front is through. I don't know how much I'm going to have to talk about dew points now for the rest of the year. With Skycast, I'm going to put it into motion. We're going to be fine all day except for the cool, breezy conditions. At least we're going to keep it dry. I don't know about you, but my sump pumps for October, I can't believe they're doing what they are. So overnight, again, it's going to be chilly, and for the day tomorrow, maybe a couple clouds sneaking on by, but otherwise less wind for us. So 46 today, temperature's not going to bounce too much from here. Windy and much colder for us. As far as tonight is concerned, 30. Cold, decreasing clouds, a little bit warmer lakeside. And for tomorrow, 44, cool, less wind. It's going to feel like the middle of fall. That's not the worst. The wind starts to pick up a little bit on Saturday. Slight chance of a little bit of rain on Saturday night. Sunday, it's going to be a windy day, and it looks like for the Packers game, for the most part, we're going to keep it dry, but on the cool side. So fall is back. Welcome back.
All right, thanks, Fish. Still ahead, good for the body and mind, how a sit-stand desk can improve your performance at work. And a scary complication from a virus parents should know about, how children are coming down with polio-like symptoms. More after the break. In medical news this morning, using a sit-stand desk at work could benefit your body and mind. Researchers found people who used sit-stand desks reduced their sitting time by more than an hour a day. They also showed improvements in their job performance and overall quality of life. Too much sitting has been shown to increase the risk of chronic illness like diabetes, heart disease, and some cancers. Keeping your hands clean and away from your nose are good ways to stay healthy. A new study found the bacteria that cause pneumonia can be spread by rubbing the nose. Researchers say keeping kids' hands and toys clean can help protect them from catching and spreading this potentially dangerous bacteria. A new study has identified which women are most at risk of life-threatening complications during or after childbirth. Researchers found Black and Hispanic women had higher rates of severe issues than their white peers, even if they were otherwise healthy. But women of any race with a health condition like asthma, diabetes, or substance abuse also had a higher risk of complication. A rare but scary complication from a virus has left dozens of children with polio-like paralysis this year, including 2-year-old Julia in Chicago. She was diagnosed with the condition linked to a virus that looks a lot like the common cold in most patients, but rarely it can affect the nervous system, causing paralysis. Julia will now have to go through intensive physical and occupational therapy. The CDC has confirmed 38 cases so far this year. Still ahead, 2 women on a mission bringing hope and help to those suffering from lymphedema in northeast Wisconsin. NBC 26 Cares is next. Thanks for watching with us this morning. 2 local women joining forces to help people suffering from a disabling condition. Stacey Engebretson has more in this morning's NBC 26 Cares.
Lymphedema is a chronic condition where the lymphatic system fails to drain fluid, cells, and proteins away from tissues in the body. It causes fluid retention and excessive swelling. In the U.S., about 5 to 10 million people have it. Now, 2 women are on a mission to bring hope and help to those suffering from it in northeast Wisconsin.
8 years ago, Jennifer Edmondson learned she had breast cancer.
It was a very horrible, horrible time for me and my family.
Chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery saved her life, but they also caused a common secondary condition for many cancer survivors called lymphedema.
A swelling that seemed very strange, and it felt like the skin was really being stretched to its limit, and I knew something was wrong.
Edmondson began seeing Teresa Iatoni.
So what I'm doing is I'm directing the fluid across Jennifer's back.
A specialty certified lymphedema therapist at Advanced Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine in Grand Chute.
It was during these sessions over the last number of years that we actually started talking about Teresa's dream and also my dream to start a nonprofit.
Now their dreams are reality. Edmondson recently launched her new nonprofit called Health, Education, and Welfare. The organization will help patients pay for their compression garments.
Our clients, especially with Medicare, have limited to no coverage for lymphedema garments. And garments can can range in price from anywhere from $40 to $2,000.
Without those garments, a lot of people will then be at higher risk for developing the cellulitis infection, possibly sepsis, which could result in amputation or death.
The nonprofit is also putting on the Advances in Lymphedema Care Personal Empowerment Conference next month.
We'll have 14 exhibitors at this event, and so they'll be able to touch and feel the products themselves.
Patients will also hear from an attorney about workers' rights and a UW Health surgeon.
I think it's just great that Dr. Micheletti is coming from Madison to talk about options. I don't think people know about options.
Nancy Copeland says trading stories and tips with other lymphedema sufferers will also help with the emotional struggle.
I think the support is really important.
This is the first time lymphedema patients will be given a voice and a venue to come together and meet each other in a safe and welcoming environment and to learn about their options.
Attendees will also learn about the benefits of yoga and Tai Chi. The conference is being held on Saturday, November 17th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Fox Valley Technical College. For more information, go to NBC26.com. Stacey Angepretson, NBC 26.
All right, let's turn it over to weather now. Our Michael Fish is live outside on the weather deck, and it's pretty chilly outside.
Oh yeah, this is way different than we've been dealing with, Brooke. My current temperature here in Green Bay is 45, but it feels colder than that because it's windy, and if you look all the way over there, you can see some low 30s. So those freezing temperatures going to start to approach the area as we go through the late night tonight. But your forecast today, our temperatures aren't going to bump much from here. 46 degrees, and it's Cabin Cast time, brought to us by Marinette County, the real north. Now in Grover, on Saturday, they have a Halloween Family Fest going on there, and it looks like the daytime should be fine. 49 degrees, feeling like fall. As far as Sunday, it's going to be windier out there, and it will be cooler. So if I had to pick day this weekend, Brooke, I'd pick Saturday, but the weekend won't be that bad.
Speaking of windy, I see your jacket blowing around out there.
Yeah, it is.
All right, thanks, Fish. Still ahead, preps at Miller Park. How crews are making sure everything is perfect ahead of the National League Championship Series. Also, Cirque du Soleil coming to town. We'll have live reports ahead with a sneak peek preview. Stay with us. All right, good morning. Thanks for being with us this morning. I had my hat on. I wore a poncho to work. It was cold.
A poncho?
Yeah, I wasn't quite ready for the jacket.
What on earth?
Just bundled up layers.
It is not raining out, people, so maybe not a poncho if you want a windbreaker and a fallish one.
Not that kind of poncho. I'll have to show you. It's a fashion poncho.
I don't know anything about that. I know about the weather. Cold fronts through. All right, so you're going to notice a big difference when you step outside. It's windy and it's much colder, but at least it's not raining, so you don't need a poncho unless it's a fashion poncho. 45 currently the temperature in Green Bay, but here's the problem. Look at the wind. 20 miles per hour with higher gusts, so it makes it feel colder than that. But once again, at least we're dry, and we're going to keep it that way all day long. Current temperatures, we've got 43 in Appleton, 44 in Shawano. You're like, oh, 40s, that's not too bad, right? I'm going to show it. Remember, I said it's windy out, so this is what it feels like outside. 32 in Watoma, 35 Oshkosh and Appleton. You get the hint. It's much colder. And late tonight, a lot of us going to go under a freeze warning. Not our northern counties because they've already seen a hard freeze, except for Dorr. You're not under that, but still could see some patchy frost there. So the rest of your day, temperatures not bouncing much from here, only a high of 46 degrees. Brooke, I'll let you know if we can keep that weekend dry here coming up.
All right, thanks, Fish. Now, a house explosion causing major damage in Harrison, some injuries, but fortunately no fatalities. Ryan Curry has more on what we know so far.
Cleanup begins for a Harrison neighborhood after a home exploded Wednesday morning.
Debris flying, everything flying, paper. Just too scary, too close. Our windows, everything rattled, all my stuff fell off my walls.
At around 8 in the morning, fire crews responded to several calls of a loud bang. When they arrived, they found an empty space where a home once stood and debris everywhere. So bad, the road was not safe to drive on.
It looks like a bomb went off. There is debris, several houses in each direction, across the road and down to the waterfront.
You can see here the remnants of the home. The home is completely gone. The explosion was so powerful. The debris landed It impacted and rendered the homes next to it uninhabitable.
The house is literally destroyed. The house, this was so violent that it destroyed the house next door.
The Calumet County Sheriff's Office still does not know what caused the house to explode. No one was home during the time of the explosion. 2 people who lived next door went to the hospital with minor injuries, and neighbors say nobody losing their lives in an explosion this big is a miracle.
We have to be careful. They won't let us stay. They want us. We're blessed that no one was, seriously hurt.
Keeping you connected, Ryan Curry, NBC 26.
Thank you, Ryan. Now, a new program in Brown County is taking a new approach to enforcing child support. Elevate is a program that reaches out to non-custodial parents who are unable to pay their child support. The program helps people with resume writing, resume writing, interview skills, parenting counseling, and more. Program leaders say they're seeing it make a big difference in people's lives.
We've seen non-custodial parents re-engage with their children after 8 years of non-involvement and non-visitation. We've seen improved relationships between custodial parents and non-custodial parents. We've seen full remittance. We're seeing 86% of non-paying former non-custodial parents being able to remit their child support.
Program leaders say it's important for kids to have both parents involved in their lives. As studies show, those kids fare better in school and beyond. Brewers fever is in full swing, and the Miller Park grounds crew is making sure the field is in perfect condition for the National League Championship Series. They'll be adding finishing touches this morning to make sure the NLCS logo is filled in. Workers are also perfecting the mowing pattern, but it may look a little different tomorrow as they have something special planned for the postseason. Now, as the Brewers get ready to take on the Dodgers, there are 2 seats that have remained with the same group for decades. The crew says Larry Fosk is their longest season ticket holder. He works for American Bolt, a company that knew someone in the front office of the Milwaukee Braves and has held season tickets since 1953. For years, Larry couldn't even afford to go to games, just listening to the Milwaukee Braves on his transitor radio. But when he became part owner of the American Bolt Company, he got the tickets.
What a view, you can hear the crack of the bat. But I'd be happy with the 400 series upstairs if I had to. It's just going to a Major League Baseball game is exciting, and I've always enjoyed it.
Larry is not going to be in his seat on Friday because he gave them away, but he plans to be there for Game 6. Overnight, President Trump defended his decision to attend a political rally after a Category 4 hurricane barreled across the southeast. Tracy Potts has more on that, plus what he said at that rally about colluding with Russia.
Brooke, the Russia investigation seemed to take a back seat during the Kavanaugh hearings, but President Trump's bringing it back to the forefront. He was at a political rally talking about that last night while Florida was digging out from a Category 4 hurricane. Presidential campaigning during a massive storm? Wrong, President Trump tweeted when President Obama did it in 2012. But late last night, he defended this rally in Pennsylvania after Hurricane Michael blasted the southeast.
It would have been very unfair to have people waiting for 10 and 12 and more than that hours and then say, by the way, I'm not going to be there tonight.
While there, he took aim at how Democrats treated Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh.
It was a disgrace.
And lodged his most direct allegation yet against Hillary Clinton.
There was collusion between Hillary, the Democrats, and Russia. There was collusion. There's no question.
He offered no proof to back it up. Rallies this week in Ohio and Kentucky could be canceled. The president says he's headed to Florida soon to survey hurricane damage.
Contrast tonight with him in Pennsylvania is going to require a lot of Floridians to temper their anger. We have people still fighting for their lives.
A direct hit along the Gulf Coast.
Thank you, Pennsylvania. Thank you.
And from the political pulpit. Also in that interview last night, the president said he is willing to release the White House instructions to the FBI on who to talk to in the Kavanaugh investigation. From Washington, Tracy Potts, NBC 26.
Thank you, Tracy. Services for some of the 20 people killed in Saturday's limo crash in upstate New York are being set. Today, Savannah Bursey's family will receive relatives and friends at a funeral home in Gloversville. Savannah was the youngest of the victims. Her funeral is scheduled for tomorrow. The limo firm's operator, who is the son of the owner, was charged Wednesday with criminally negligent homicide. A New York prosecutor says Nauman Hussein had packed bags with him when he was arrested. The judge entered a not guilty plea for him. Harvey Weinstein is due back in court today. A New York judge will weigh his bid to have some or all of his sexual assault cases thrown out. Weinstein faces a 6-count indictment covering allegations from 3 women. His attorney has said prosecutors didn't inform the grand jury of evidence that could suggest his encounter with one of his accusers was consensual. Weinstein has pleaded not guilty. In consumer news this morning, Warner Media, now owned by AT&T, says it's pulling together the resources of HBO, Turner, and Warner Brothers to launch a streaming service late next year. It would build on the success of the company's HBO Now and would be a potential rival for Netflix and other streaming services. It's likely at least a year away, if not longer, but a new version of Sony's PlayStation is in the works. Industry analysts say the Christmas season of 2019 would be the earliest the new system could be released, but 2020 is more likely. Michael is charging into Georgia after slamming Florida's Panhandle with 155-mile-per-hour winds and 12-foot waves. The historically strong storm has turned deadly, killing at least 2 people, including an 11-year-old girl. A Florida congressman says Panama City, quote, looks like a bomb went off on every single block. It shredded homes, knocked out power to thousands, and submerged entire towns underwater. Michael will march into the Carolinas today, where they are still cleaning up after Hurricane Florence.
So they don't want to see any sort of rain, and luckily, see the speed, the movement of Tropical Storm Michael, 21 miles per hour. So as it goes through the Carolinas, luckily the rain impacts, though, pretty severe, nothing like it was for Florence. It's going to quickly work its way off to the north and east. You see here by Friday, and that's tomorrow, it's going to be starting to work its way out over the Atlantic. So it's actually kind of a fast mover, which is good. As far as back here at home, only 43 degrees in the Fox Valley, and see the tower cam bumping around here. 17-mile-per-hour winds with higher gusts. At least it's going to be dry. It is not going to rain today, but it is much chillier out there. 45 in Green Bay, 42 in Oshkosh, and 41 Clintonville and Mountain. And I have to factor in the winds. Yep, it's the first time I'm showing it this year. Feels like 32 in Clintonville and only 37 in Green Bay, so dress much differently than you've had to have. 46 degrees, that's all we get for a high. Temperature's not bumping too much from here. Now I'm going to let you know how much of this weekend we can keep dry, but how cool it will be as well. Coming up, stay with us.
Thanks for tuning in this morning. Cirque du Soleil is coming to town this weekend.
And for the first time in the company's 34-year history, they're bringing their first ever on-ice production. Our Emily Beyer joins us live from the Resch Center with more. Morning, Emily.
Hey guys, good morning everyone. Yeah, for folks coming out tonight to the grand opening, they're in for such a treat, you guys. This place is absolutely wonder here. They've got it all set up for everyone at the Resch Center. I'm joined by Julie DeMaria, excuse me. She's the publicist with the show. Tell us a little bit more about this set. And again, this is such a unique show that you guys are going to be putting on.
Exactly. Ice was a big influence in developing the concept of crystals, so we wanted to we use the ice as a canvas to project the storyline along with, on the ice and on the wall that we have behind me. We find 3 ramps that are used during a very hockey segment called extreme skating, where you have 5 extreme skaters that jump and comes out of these ramps, but it's also used as a projection facility where we follow Crystal in her journey of self-exploration.
Wow, and you were telling me a little bit about how you want to make sure folks get here and get to their seats right away, because you guys have a little bit of a show before to kind of get people excited for this performance.
Exactly. There's a very fun pre-show animation where our comic character, along with other activities, where you have a group of artists that actually are on the pond just skating around, but there's also interaction with snowballs with the audience. So I do recommend arriving a little earlier just to take your seat, relax, and enjoy the interaction that we do with you.
Tell us a little bit about, again, we know this is a unique show, but why was this something that Cirque du Soleil absolutely had to do?
It's Cirque du Soleil always aim to reinvent itself and always create new production and always go beyond and above it, push boundaries of entertainment. And ice was kind of the next step we were looking into, and we really wanted to combine the right elements to create a very unique production.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel being a part of this production, getting to see them put on this magic every time?
Oh, it's so unique. I'm so lucky to work with a group of, we are 90 people on tour, and it's fascinating to see the dedication that the cast or the crew puts every night for a performance or just for their trainings and preparation. So it's very motivating, and I feel just very lucky.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a great show tonight. Thank you so much, Julie. So you guys, we have more information for you on our website, NBC26.com, for tickets. Brooke, Fish, we are going to be taking a look at those costumes. Brooke, you and I, we always talk about how beautiful the costumes can be for some of these performances, so I'm very excited to show you guys that here in a little bit.
Thanks, Emily. Oh, I can't wait to see that. They are so beautiful. When we were talking about like going to some of these other shows and just the makeup and the glitter and everything, it's just beautiful.
Think they'll be wearing ponchos? She said it before. I didn't know there's like a
fall, like sweater-like poncho, not a rain poncho. You need to look this up. Your wife would be really disappointed in you right now.
They're both called ponchos
Guarantee
to me.
she has a poncho.
Probably. All right, so speaking of ice, look at this. Freeze warning for a lot of the area except for Door County and not our northern counties, because the northern counties here, you've already seen a hard freeze already. So this late tonight, Door, you might see some patchy frost by you, but you know that growing season coming to an end around here. Now, behind this low pressure, we had a cold front come through yesterday. It was last night, and boy, it is much colder and it's blustery out there. This is what I'm talking about. Green Bay, it's 45, but look at the wind, 20 miles per hour with higher gusts. So be ready for a big change when you step outside this morning. Here's a look at precipitation around the state, and we're quiet. We're going to have a dry day today. Skycast showing that. It's trying to show a lot more sunshine, but I think clouds are going to kind of win the battle today. We're going to keep it dry tonight as well if you have any plans outdoors. It's still going to be breezy, though. We're actually going to be below our average high for once around here. Nothing even close to a record high. And yesterday, you know, it was pretty mild in a lot of spots with that warm front lifting north. It was close to 70, but look what's on the way. They're the mid-40s for us. So get ready for a big change when you step out the door. It's only 41 now. Appleton, Clintonville, 41 in Mountain. And as far as wind chills are concerned, yes, I have to show it. It's the first time I'm showing it all year. It feels like the freezing mark in Appleton, in Clintonville, and 35 in Oshkosh. So dress accordingly. There's a big difference. Humidity's gone. This is probably one of the last times I'm going to show this dew point map for the year. And as far as Skycast is concerned, again, we're going to have a dry day. A couple lake effect snow showers way up north in the UP. Going through the night tonight, also keeping things dry around here. Still going to be breezy, but tomorrow still dry with less wind. Tomorrow should be a nicer day than today, even though it will be cooler. So windy and much colder than it has been today, 46 degrees. For tonight, dropping below freezing in a lot of spots, decreasing clouds, 30 degrees. Door County, you might be just a little bit milder, but still for all of us, it's going to be a cold night. For tomorrow, only 44, but we're going to have less wind, and it's not going to be raining. So most of the weekend looking okay. There's going to be a slight chance of a little rain on Saturday night. Gets pretty windy on Sunday, and for the Packer game, as of right now, it's actually looking dry for the most part. I'll have that forecast for that coming up, but otherwise, Brooke, we've turned the corner now to fall for the time being, so I guess enjoy it.
Yeah, sure. All right, thanks, Fish. Still to come, the Brewers' turning point, what the team's manager says was key to their big season. You're watching NBC 26 today.
And now, NBC 26 Sports with Sports Director Charlie Sakaitis.
Good morning, sports fans. It's easy to be wrapped up in the Brewers' success at the moment. Winners of 11 straight, an end to the season that will never be forgotten in this state, and now a seat at the NLCS with a World Series berth 4 wins away. But there were times this year when things didn't look so rosy. Yesterday, manager Craig Counsell talked about the turning point for the team, and that includes the play of Christian Yelich.
What's been fun about Christian's second half is just it's the nightly occurrence of it that's been so much fun. So one moment, you know, I mean, I'd still point to the game in Cincinnati where he did hit for the cycle and did go 6 for 6, and that was a series as much as anything. Locaine hit the 10th inning homer the next day, and that was a series that you know, with a team, we toughened up, you know, as a team. That was an improbable game that we won in Cincinnati. To me, it felt like kind of the start of this.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the sports keeping you connected. I'm Charlie Sakaitis for NBC 26.
Thanks, Charlie. Let's turn to weather now. Michael Fish is live outside on the weather deck. He could use a poncho. A fall poncho.
Oh, yeah, yes, the decorative one I just learned today. Thanks, Brooke. But you don't need a rain one today because it's not raining. Here's a look where I'm standing, 45 degrees. You notice up by the Hayward area, though, they have flurries. No, we don't have to worry about snow around here. It's sharply colder, by the way. 46 degrees. That's what we're going to have for a high temperature. So temperature's not bumping much. And not only that, it's windy out here. And your Packers tailgate forecast as we go into Monday night, it's brought to us by Chevy. You see us dropping slowly into the 30s, but the way it looks right now, we're going to keep it dry. You can see the wind out here. And of course, we have the Sports Showdown going on tomorrow night. And our teams, De Pere versus Notre Dame Academy. Coverage begins at 6:30, and it looks like we're going to keep it dry. It's just going to be chilly. Hey, Brooke, basically what I'm trying to tell you, fall's back, the weather quieter, but today it's definitely windy, as you can tell out
You
here.
look like you're going to blow away. All right, thanks, Fish. We'll take another break. But before that, let's take a live look outside on our Green Bay Tower cam. You're watching NBC 26 today. The time is 5:54. All right, you may never be able to visit the moon yourself, but starting today, you can bid to own a little piece of it.
A 12-pound lunar meteorite that was discovered in Africa last year is now up for auction by the Boston-based RR Auction. There's speculation it could go for as much as $500,000. Online bidding starts today and runs until the 18th.
All right, there's a chance for you to win more than $500 million.
The Mega Millions drawing has jumped to $548 million. There wasn't a winner on Tuesday's drawing. The next will be tomorrow. Oh, that's good to know.
Oh, then you can go buy that meteorite.
Yeah, that's right. And they have plenty left over.
Or maybe a bigger boat. There you go.
Oh, yeah, even though boating season coming to an end. And we're going to have a ton of chop today because it's very windy out there. I'll get to that in a second. 41, though, and it's also a lot colder. That's a temperature in Appleton and Oshkosh, 44 in Green Bay. I have to show it. Wind chills feel like the freezing mark in Appleton, and only 30. That's what it feels like in Watoma. And then late tonight, a freeze warning for most of the area. And then off to the north and west, you've already seen a hard freeze, so none of those for you. 46 degrees today. That's all you get for a high.
Oh, I shivered listening to that. All right, we have another full hour of news and weather. You're watching NBC 26 today.